This is it, 1963 Baja Bug. This is like a Volkswagen on steroids.
Damn, Rick, this looks like the cat's pajamas.
George Patton photo album.
Cool.
My grandfather was assigned to Patton during World War II. It's my understanding that it's classified.
That's pretty amazing.
Things go from zero to chaos in seconds. The cold open flashes a car roaring, a breathalyzer beeping, and someone strolling in with supposed Picassos. Rick's grin says opportunity. Corey's side-eye says, yeah, right. It's classic Pawn Stars whiplash. Big claims, bigger egos, and even bigger swings on price. Buckle up. We're diving straight into the deals, starting with a magazine that helped define rock culture.
Pretty cool. You mind if I start it up? You ready? Go ahead. Oh my God.
I wanted to see if I can sell these Picassos.
Like something Chum could have drawn.
Probably could have, but he's not Picasso. That's why.
This could be worth a fortune.
A customer brings in a first edition Rolling Stone, and Rick practically lights up like a neon sign. Volume 1, Number 1. John Lennon on the cover, he notes, carefully handling the fragile newsprint-style pages. Corey hovers, interested but cautious. The seller wants around $350, confident it's the right time to cash in. Rick's already thinking condition, display value, and whether this piece will actually fly off the shelf.
What's that?
We got a first edition Rolling Stone magazine.
It's still a big deal to get your picture on the cover.
Oh, it'd be great to picture on the cover of Rolling Stone.
I'll buy 5 copies for my mother if I did.
Rick flips through ads and early scene San Francisco history, talking about how the first run sold roughly 5,000 copies, and how the early issues looked more like a newspaper than a glossy magazine. He's emphasizing rarity and condition, not just first issue hype. That's Rick's tell. He's interested. The seller's expectation lingers in the air, but if Rick buys, you know a discount is coming.
Volume 1, Number 1.
How long did they look like a newspaper?
I think almost all of the 70s. It's really incredible that they were able to keep their persona so long. I mean, it was cool then. It's cool now. I mean, it's Rolling Stone.
Negotiation time. The seller aims for $350. Rick counters $300. Corey jumps in about how framing sells displays, not stacks on shelves. The customer blinks, does the mental math, and gives the nod. 300's a deal. Clean, fast, and Rick's already picturing it matted and mounted. That's a tidy win for the shop, and a happy seller walking out with cash.
And how much did you want for it?
$350.
300. This sitting on a shelf don't sell. Framed, matted, nice display, sells.
Okay, 300's a deal.
Okay, 300.
Next, a man arrives with Ohio State player pendants, actual awards from wins over Michigan. Rick perks up immediately. These aren't souvenir stand trinkets. They're issued to players only. Chumley can't resist joking. Why do they look like pants? The seller explains the legendary rivalry and the put their pants on one leg at a time story. You can feel the value rising with the lore.
Well, I have a couple of these Ohio State pendants. They're awarded to the players when they beat Michigan.
Why do they look like pants?
Well, when they started the award, Ohio State had a long losing streak against Michigan. So the coach came in and said, these guys put their pants on one leg at a time like we do.
Rick lays out the rivalry's history, 1897 and on, and inspects the pieces. He spots heavy gold-filled plating and the inevitable green reaction from wear. Authentic? Yes. Precious metal jackpot? Not quite. The seller shoots for $2,500 on the pair, leaning on rarity. Rick's face says, cool, but calm down. He opens at $1,500, testing resolve while Corey keeps the banter flowing.
Well, it's one of the biggest rivalries ever in college football. I mean, they've been playing ever since they had the grid.
Yeah.
The field used to be painted completely different. It used to be squares on the field, and that's why it was called the gridiron.
We get a classic tug of war. The seller asks for more, Rick inches up to $2,000 total, and that's the line. Tension, hesitation, and then a handshake. Deal done. The seller walks out satisfied, $1,000 each, and Rick's thrilled with a piece of obscure college football tradition he can market to the right superfan. Drama overload, negotiation finesse, and a clean close.
And how much do you want for them?
$2,500 for the pair.
Ooh. I'll give you $1,500.
I can't do that. That's too low.
I'll go $2,000. I'm gonna price them at $1,500, so I'm not making a fortune off you.
All right, you got a deal.
Okay, all right.
Enter the big swing. A woman brings 2 Picasso pieces. Corey jokes that, and Rick shoots back, yeah, but Picasso did it first. That's why it's money. The seller explains they were her mother's, bought in the 1970s from an art dealer. Rick sees potential, but he's not guessing. He wants an expert to separate gallery gold from mass-produced wall filler.
Hey, I wanted to see if I can sell these Picassos.
Okay, so where did you get these?
They belong to my mom. I'm selling them for her.
It's like something Chum could have drawn.
Picasso drew it first, and that's why it's worth money.
Rick flags an expert and asks everyone to hang tight. He's heard of Poor Robbie having a wide spread in value, depending on edition and paper. The customer's hopeful. She grew up staring at these pieces and wants to honor her mom's expectations. Stakes feel real. If one's a high-value early pressing, there's a payday. If not, it's a lesson in art editions.
This one right here is called Poor Robbie. There's a lot of these out there. Some are worth more than others. I don't know exactly what the difference is, but they're pretty common. Even if you don't know anything about art, probably heard of Pablo Picasso.
Time jump to the car storyline's decisive moment. Danny, the auto expert, inspects the 1931 REO Flying Cloud. He loves the era and the completeness, but he's brutally honest. Full restoration could run about $30,000, and a pristine example might fetch around $35,000. Thin margins at best. In current condition, about $8,000. Rick's hopes wobble. That's a cold shower on a beautiful classic.
Take a little look at it here and see what's going on.
How about it?
All right. These cars are really cool to me because they represent a really neat era. Things were simpler then. You can look at the designs on them and see how they worked, and easy to maintain, easy to work on, and that just kind of represents a cool time for me.
Back at the counter, the art expert Brent arrives for the Picassos. He quickly pegs the Blue Dove of Peace as an open edition lithograph, roughly $100 to $200. Ouch. But Poor Robbie could be special if it's an early pressing on Heavy Arches paper. He checks the stock and smiles. This one sits near the top of the range, in a gallery, roughly $800 to $1,500.
Picasso was an expert in all media. He did everything from lino cuts to lithographs to etchings, so it's really nice to be able to see one of his works up close. This piece looks like just an open edition lithograph.
The air shifts, gallery value versus pawn reality. The seller shoots for $1,000, but Rick won't pay gallery prices. He passes on the Dove entirely and offers $600 for Poor Robbie. She counters $900, then $750, trying to bridge the gap. Rick stays cool, reminding her it's the most mass-produced Picasso etching on the planet. Watch that resolve. Professional, patient, immovable.
Now this one was done circa 1950, and it was done in honor of a friend of his, Robert Godet. As Rick said, it's called Poor Robbie. Picasso gave up rights to the plate.
Final push. She asks for $650, and Rick concedes $650 it is. That tiny smile from the seller? Priceless. She knows she did okay outside a gallery, and Rick knows he bought intelligently. Expert validation, careful negotiation, and a clean close on the stronger of the two pieces. Seriously, look at that reaction. Relief and pride in one frame.
This one I wouldn't want, it's just too common. And this one right here, I would give you $600 for it.
What about 9?
I don't get gallery prices.
$650?
Yeah, I go $650. All right.
Thank you.
Now for the wild card, a coin-operated breathalyzer straight out of the 1980s. LEDs, robotic voice, the works. Rick and Chumley do a control test, then have the seller take a swig and blow again. The machine barks, .20, you are ripped. Everyone cracks up, but Rick still treats it like a collectible with a message. It's goofy, nostalgic, and undeniably functional.
Computerized breathalyzer, coin-operated.
Bottle of Jack Daniels.
Well, I can show you it works with it.
Where in the world did you get this?
California. They were in bars. They took them out of the bars because the college kids and stuff trying to get high scores.
The seller wants a couple hundred. Rick anchors at $100. Quick, playful back and forth lands them at $125. And the empty Jack Daniels bottle sweetens the deal. It's classic Pawn Stars. Test the item, prove it works, then buy it right. No fluff, just clean negotiation and a quirky score that'll get attention on the sales floor. Drama overload in the funniest way.
What do you want for it?
I'd like a couple $100 for it.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you $100 for it.
150.
It must be the alcohol talking.
I'll give you $125. How's that? I think that's a fair price. I'll probably get $200 out of it.
Okay.
All right.
You got a deal.
The shop opens hot with tension and history. A man walks in holding what he claims is a photo album signed by General George S. Patton himself. Rick's eyes widen instantly. Military relics always grab his attention. The seller coolly drops that only 3 exist. One in the National Archives, one with the Patton family, and one in his hands. Talk about pressure.
I have a pair of Willie Shoemaker Jockey racing boots.
Nice. In the world of horse racing, Willie Shoemaker is a legend. How much did you want for him?
$4,000.
It's a lot of money for a pair of shoes.
It is truly unique.
The guy explains his grandfather served under Patton and even got a Purple Heart for getting hit behind enemy lines. Rick listens like a historian on caffeine, retelling how Patton once slapped a soldier for battle fatigue. You can tell Rick's hooked, but cautious. The seller throws out a $10,000 ask, and Rick's poker face barely holds. That's steep for something he hasn't verified yet.
Hey, how's it going? What do we got here?
Got a George Patton photo album from World War II. My grandfather was assigned to Patton for 3 months during World War II.
So your grandfather was a photographer, or?
He was a photographer, yes.
Flipping through, Rick spots Eisenhower and de Gaulle in the photos. Clear proof this isn't just some souvenir. One image is even classified until further notice. Rick's excitement jumps, but so does his skepticism. We don't know how many exist, he warns. The seller agrees to call in an expert. You can almost hear that dramatic music cue. Time to authenticate or bust.
Got a Purple Heart for taking shrapnel in the leg.
I have to take my hat off to your grandfather, for Patton was not an easy person to be around from what I understand. Very outspoken.
A man strolls in with an antique French travel kit, loaded with over a dozen sterling silver grooming tools. Rick's practically drooling. Every piece gleams under the lights like treasure from a royal carriage. The seller says it's been in his family. Found while cleaning attics. Rick's favorite kind of origin story.
Got this old travel kit.
That there be a lot of silver.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Where did you get this?
From my aunt. She used to go into people's houses and clean them out for them.
Rick examines the hallmarks. French, early 1800s, .950 silver quality mark. He's impressed. This belonged to someone with serious money, he notes. The scrap value alone hits about $1,500. But the craftsmanship makes it worth up to 10 times more. The seller's eyes light up. $10,000. Rick counters fast. $6,000. The duel begins.
200 years ago, people traveled by sailing ship and horse-drawn carriage. It took a long time to get anywhere. So on a long trip, anybody with any amount of money would bring as many comforts of home as possible.
They haggle like pros. $10,000 turns into $8,000, then $7,000. Rick holds firm at $6,500, his top dollar. The seller sighs, then nods. Deal closed. Rick's practically glowing, calling it worth more as a whole than in parts. You can tell this set's heading for a glass display case with a serious price tag.
I'll go $6,500, and that is really my tops. I'm really thinking it's a difficult sell. I mean, it's a beautiful set, but
all right, I don't have anything invested in it, so I think we got a deal.
Okay.
Next up, tiny boots, big legacy. A man brings in a pair of Willie Shoemaker's signed Jockey boots, the legendary Hall of Fame rider with over 8,000 wins. Corey and Rick stare at them like, these are the smallest boots we've ever seen. The guy proudly says they're autographed from Shoemaker's 7,997th win. That's horse racing royalty.
I have a pair of Jockey racing boots autographed by Willie Shoemaker.
That is one little boot. All right, do you know what size these are?
Yeah, these are a size 1.
Rick examines the scuffed, faded autograph. Barely visible. He loves the story, but wants proof. Without authentication, I can't touch them, he says. The seller claims $4,000, which Rick shoots down instantly. Expert time again. You can tell by Rick's smirk. He loves the chase, not the gamble.
Willie Shoemaker is a legend. Over 8,000 career wins, 4 Kentucky Derbies, 11 Triple Crown races. It goes on and on and on. He was so famous, Andy Warhol painted his portrait.
The scene jumps to Rick and Corey, checking out 175 Jim Beam collectible decanters. Yes, 175. The seller's garage must have looked like a whiskey museum. She wants $4,500. Rick offers $500. Her jaw drops. Corey tries to justify it. We gotta pay someone to pack them. They settle at $600, and Rick mutters, buyer's remorse incoming.
So this is why I called you.
Wow, you got a lot of booze here.
Want to crack one open?
I'm all right.
So where did you get all this stuff?
I bought a business and they were just stored there.
Back to the boots. The expert Drew arrives. He's a forensic autograph examiner, analyzing every pen stroke. He notes Shoemaker's unique S-loop and confirms it's authentic. No doubt about it, this is genuine. The seller beams, but Drew drops the catch. Signed photos go for $300. Boots may be a bit more, but not thousands. Reality check time.
Well, these are definitely horse racing boots, that's for sure. Willie Shoemaker, okay?
Yep.
Willie Shoemaker is probably the most famous of all the jockeys. He won his first pro race when he was like 17, ended up winning like 8,800 races, entered like 40,000.
Rick offers $500. The seller counters $800, and Rick sticks firm. If the signature was darker, I'd pay $1,000. He shrugs. Finally, they agree on $500. Another win for Rick. Another sigh from the seller. You can tell he walked in dreaming of thousands but leaves with grocery money.
So I get $1,200.
$600.
I'll go $500. If that was dark, I would pay $1,000. No problem.
I can do that.
All right, $500.
All right.
Now the Patton album expert Dana arrives. Rick's ace for historic documents. Dana calls it fascinating, admiring the photographs and Patton's presence. Then, bam, bad news. The signature isn't real ink. It's part of the photograph print. Rick's face says it all. That's a $10,000 dream turning into a $500 maybe.
Wow, it's kind of fascinating. So what are your concerns about this piece?
It's one of those weird things. I mean, they're government photographs, so they're not copyrighted, most likely.
Uh-huh.
Dana explains that most photos are known, with only a few rare shots possibly valuable. Rick listens, crushed but composed. He still loves the item, but says, I don't know if it's worth $500 or $2,000. He offers $500, the seller declines, laughing, my family would disown me. Rick shrugs. Then keep it.
So overall, for the entire album, I would say that most of these are probably very well known and documented. If there's some in here that are unknown and special, then those could be quite valuable.
Moments later, Corey handles a guy selling a bulletproof vest. Yes, an actual ballistic vest with trauma plates. Rick jokes, did you ever use it? The seller laughs nervously. It's made of Kevlar, purchased in 2007, and still in good shape. Rick drops trivia about Kevlar originally being made for tires. Of course he does.
You ever hear how the guy who invented these went around and sold them to police departments?
No.
He'd actually strap one of these on, take a .45 and shoot himself in the chest.
The seller wants $300. Rick offers $150, noting Kevlar's 5-year lifespan. They shake hands fast. Rick loves an easy deal after all that expert drama. He walks off with the vest. Corey groans about storage, and Rick sighs, staring at shelves of Jim Beam bottles. I got some buyer's remorse, he mutters. Classic closer. Rick's wallet always recovers slower than his wit.
And how much you want for it?
$300?
They only cost like $500 new.
I paid $756. I have the receipt too. The least I can take will be like maybe $150.
Yeah, I'll give you $150 for it.
All right.
The episode opens with pure chaos and sass. Rick's fed up with Chumley's slow pace, barking that he's slower than a hungover mess cook. Chum protests, confused and panicking, while Corey snickers in the corner. Rick jokes about cracking Fort Knox, and Chum's head if it were legal. Right off the bat, it's classic shop banter, sarcasm, chaos, and one very bewildered employee.
I ain't never seen nobody move that slow. Are you drunk or something?
No.
I mean, didn't any work out of you like cracking Fort Knox?
It's impossible to crack Fort Knox.
Then, a man pulls up behind the shop hauling something massive, an actual iron lung. Rick stares like he's just seen Frankenstein's bed. The seller calls it a negative pressure ventilator from the early 20th century, explaining how it helped polio patients breathe. Rick peers inside, grimacing. It's creepy, man. The seller coolly drops, I want $100,000. Rick nearly chokes.
I brought a big heavy piece of iron in for you to look at.
Okay, a piece of iron?
It's a medical device, antique.
Okay, bring it around to my back gate. I'll take a look at it there.
All right.
Rick inspects the old beast, missing glass, worn out parts, but still intact. He explains its history, how it literally sucked air in and out to simulate breathing. People lived in these things for years, he says. The seller insists it's a teaching tool. Rick laughs softly. It's more like scrap metal. The mood turns awkward. The seller leaves disappointed, mumbling about restoring it.
Well, that's what they were designed to. When people develop polio or some other diseases, it caused paralysis of your chest muscles, so therefore you couldn't breathe. So you would lay in that thing, and then they would let the air back in, and your chest would go down.
Back inside, Rick's patience snaps again. Chumley's slacking. So the old man and Corey plot the ultimate prank. A list of fake errands. Left-handed coffee cup, bucket of steam, can of stripe paint, and a glass hammer. Corey grins. So, fool's errands? Rick smirks. Exactly. The old man laughs. Classic Navy hazing pawn shop edition.
I have no idea.
Somebody needs to put a fire under his ass. He's lazier than homemade lye soap. The kid's a disaster.
How is lye soap lazy? And who makes soap?
Next, a guy arrives holding something truly out of this world. A NASA space shuttle toilet seat. Rick blinks twice. The seller swears it's legit, from the early 1980s shuttle design. Rick cracks up saying, "This is for a very small butt." They joke about floating turds in space, and honestly, it's one of the weirdest items ever seen in the shop.
I've got something out of this world to show you. This is a NASA Space Shuttle toilet seat.
Okay, we have a space toilet seat for a really, really small butt.
Right. You need a good tight seal so there's no leakage.
The seller wants $400. Rick looks unconvinced. "I don't know what the toilet seat market's doing nowadays." He deadpans. He decides to call in Mark, his aerospace expert. The seller stands proud, claiming 100% authenticity. You can tell Rick's torn between skepticism and sheer amusement. Space toilet seat might just be a first, even for him.
In space, there's no gravity, so you get strapped in with your feet, and then you've got stirrups that you can put over your legs to help hold you down, to keep him from floating off.
So theoretically, if a guy screwed up using this thing in space.
Meanwhile, Chumlee embarks on his fool's errand adventure, proudly reading his list aloud in public. Left-handed coffee cup, bucket of steam, glass hammer. He actually goes store to store asking people for them. One guy bursts out laughing. Another offers him directions to a prank store. Chum, undeterred, declares, "This should be easy." Rick and Corey can't stop snickering.
I'm actually plotting my revenge on the old man for making me do all that stupid.
You come up with anything good yet?
No, nothing good. Dude, I did find something else though. Have some fun.
Mark finally arrives to verify the Space Shuttle toilet seat, holding it like it's moon rock. He confirms it's real NASA design, polyurethane foam, vinyl coating, and zero outgassing. Rick interrupts, "That's a polite way of saying no fart smells." Mark explains astronaut backsides were literally measured for fit. The visual alone sends everyone into hysterics.
I have to ask, where the heck did you get this?
Well, out of college, I took a job with Sanderson Plumbing Products.
It's interesting, in space.
Mark drops one last fact bomb. Seats were replaced every 3 flights and stamped with serial numbers. This one, no stamp, so it never flew. Rick sighs in relief and disappointment. So, it's the world's nicest unused toilet seat. The seller laughs. Rick throws out $200, gets countered at $400, and they finally meet at $300. Sold for the most expensive seat in space.
Actually, yes. Yeah, it's one of those things. There's just, you know, there's glory in space. Going to the bathroom ain't part of that. You know, in fact.
Chum's revenge plot kicks in. He buys dry ice to prank the old man for sending him on those fake errands. "You wanted steam? I'll give you steam." He fills a bucket, grinning like a cartoon villain. Meanwhile, the old man and Rick have no clue what's brewing, literally. Chum just chuckles. "This'll be good."
And I figured I'd get some custard at the same time.
Is there anything else you need?
That depends on whether or not you want to sell me some dry ice.
What do you need dry ice for?
Playing a prank on my boss.
Okay.
Then, things take a literary turn. A woman walks in holding a signed copy of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas by Hunter S. Thompson. This is legendary counterculture gold. She casually mentions, "I spent a weekend with him in 1980, and you survived?" Everyone laughs nervously.
Tell me about the weekend with Hunter S. Thompson. That sounds like a lot of fun.
I had a call from a friend one night who worked at a resort in Phoenix saying, Hunter S. Thompson is here. He needs somebody who knows how to type to help him write an article.
She reads the note aloud. "Beverly, thanks for the help in that white trash oil slick called Phoenix. Your friend, Hunter S. Thompson. This is pure gonzo history." But he's cautious. The paperback itself isn't worth much. So he calls Rebecca, his literary expert, to appraise it.
And he wrote like his whole manifesto on life and, you know, barely turned in an article he was supposed to write. So he signed it?
He not only signed his name, he wrote a little note to me.
Rebecca arrives, glowing with book nerd enthusiasm. She praises Thompson's gonzo journalism and verifies the handwriting. Real deal, classic Hunter. Retail value, $400 to $500. The seller hoped for $800, but Rick can't resist. "I'll give you $250. After some haggling, they land at $350. She beams. "I'll read it, then sell it."
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. And it looks to be an inscribed copy.
It is.
Hunter Thompson said that he got into writing because it was the only thing he was good at.
Finally, Chum storms back into the shop, proudly presenting his purchases. A bucket of steam, thanks to dry ice, and a left-handed coffee cup. Rick rolls his eyes, muttering, "You did this to yourself." The cup drips everywhere as steam rises dramatically. Chum grins like a maniac. The old man sputters, "That's hot!" Pure chaos. Chum's revenge complete.
One left-handed coffee cup.
Well, it is a bucket of steam.
You wanted a bucket of steam.
You know, ask and you shall receive, but be careful, that's hot.
But this is just a regular coffee cup.
And there it is, space toilets, Hunter S. Thompson, fake errands, and boiling buckets. Only at the gold and silver pawn shop could history, hilarity, and stupidity collide so perfectly.
No, that's left-handed. It says on the bottom of it, look.
I want to get you, Chumley.
Things ignite instantly at the gold and silver pawn shop. Literally, a man strolls in carrying what looks like a World War I flamethrower, and Rick's jaw nearly hits the counter. For a second, I thought you were the exterminator, he jokes. The seller smirks, saying he found it in a storage unit. Rick's intrigued but nervous. This thing's nasty. I just hope it's legal to own.
This is a World War I flamethrower.
Okay, for a second I thought you were the exterminator or something.
Well, we could do a little exterminating around here. I don't know how much your pawn shop would be left.
The guy insists it's authentic military issue. Gasoline in one tank, gel in the other, meant to stick and burn. Rick winces, half fascinated, half disturbed. Man, I can't imagine being on the receiving end of that. He notices holes drilled through the tank, meaning it probably doesn't hold pressure anymore. Suspicious but hopeful, Rick calls in his weapons expert to find out if this terrifying relic is the real deal.
So what can you tell me about this?
I think it's a World War I flamethrower. I think that there was gasoline in one tank, and then it mixed with some sort of gel so that when they shot it...
Expert Rick from weapons specialist Latit arrives, clearly delighted. You got a flamethrower, he grins. He immediately dates it, Vietnam era, not World War I. Rick looks stunned. So this thing saw tunnels and bunkers, not trenches. The expert explains the mechanics. Pressure tank, liquid accelerant, spark igniter. Basically, a garden hose that shoots fire. Rick just mutters, "That's the most terrifying garden tool ever."
Can you tell me how old this is? I figured it was a World War I.
I can tell you real close. No, it's not World War I, not by a long shot. It's somewhere between 1956 and 1978. Would have been used in Vietnam.
The expert clarifies it's non-functional and totally safe because someone drilled holes through the tank, making it a display replica. Still, it's accurate to the millimeter. If operational, it could hit $12,000. But as is, around $2,000 to $2,500 tops. Rick nods, realizing it's more museum piece than moneymaker. Still, he wants it. It's badass conversation art. He just needs to get it cheap.
They're dangerous to fill, they're dangerous to carry, so there's a lot of downside to a flamethrower. What do they do well? Why do they use them at all?
Negotiation time. Rick offers $500. The seller fires back with $1,500. They spar. Rick lowballs again. The seller digs in, finally meeting in the middle at $1,000. Deal sealed. The guy leaves happy, doubling his storage unit profit. Rick smirks, holding his new fire cannon. Now this'll turn some heads. The old man mutters, "Just don't burn the damn shop down."
Maybe some collectors who couldn't get this part because this is the hardest part to find.
Okay.
Good ones in working order, especially the collectors that really go for them, can go as high as $12,000, $10,000 to $12,000.
Okay. Then comes horsepower instead of firepower. A man pulls up with a 1963 Baja Bug, roaring and lifted. The old man peers over his glasses. "Damn, Rick, this looks like the cat's pajamas." The seller proudly explains it's a 2,376 dual-carb off-road monster with 140 horsepower. Rick's impressed but cautious. Cool ride. Limited market. It's too custom. Race car? Not really. Street car? Not quite.
As you can see, it's caged all the way through the front to the back, set up for off-road racing.
All right, tell me about this motor.
2376. Dual carbs, it's a big-ass motor.
The seller shoots for $12,500, but Rick's wallet shuts tighter than a bank vault. He explains, "It's stuck between two markets. I couldn't go near that." He offers $5,000, trying to be generous. The guy laughs it off, disappointed but polite. "Nah, I'll leave it on the trailer." Rick shrugs. "Nice car, just not the right buyer." The old man mutters, "I'd have gone 3. Brutal honesty as usual.
Class 12?
Class 12.
What is Class 12? Class 12's unlimited motor, limited suspension?
Modified suspension.
Shows how much you know, Rick. That's Ricky. Often wrong, but never in doubt.
Next up, fortune and folly. Chumley drags Rick to an auction preview after spotting a gypsy fortune-telling machine online. The animatronic Madame Estella blinks and delivers cards of wisdom. Chum's instantly obsessed. Can we buy it now? The auctioneer laughs. No, you have to bid. Rick groans. Oh boy, this is gonna get embarrassing.
So what can you tell me about this fortune-telling machine?
Well, this machine was handmade about 25 years ago. These were put out primarily small venues like pizza parlors or small amusement parks.
Back at the shop, Rick tries to teach Chum how auctions work. With a meatball sub, Chum frowns. That wasn't realistic. It was a metaphor. Chum bites the sandwich. Doesn't taste like one. He's so not ready for this. The stage is perfectly set for disaster.
Chum, don't embarrass us today at the auction, dude.
I'm not gonna embarrass you. Just give me the green light and I'm gonna bid.
Have you ever even been to an auction before?
No, that's not, don't worry about it.
Well, let me show you how it works.
Auction day arrives and Chum is hyped. I can't wait to outbid these fools. Your limit's $500. The auctioneer starts rapid fire bidding. Numbers climb past 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, until the gypsy machine hits a staggering $6,300. Chum's eyes bug out. Told you. Chum sulks, muttering, I was gonna use it to win the lottery. Dream officially crushed.
3, 2, 1.
500. I'll take 400. Now 5. Now 6. Would have been 600. Now 7 over here. Now 800. Would have been 900. 900 here. Now 1,000. But 1,100. Now 12. Would have been 13.
But before the fortune fades, in walks another customer, a groom-to-be. He's holding a rare Manhattan Arms Pepperbox revolver, hoping to sell it before his wedding that night. Rick jokes, "You got a permit for that?" The guy laughs nervously. "Do I need one?" It's quirky, 5-barrel, and wildly inaccurate. Rick quips, "This wouldn't kill Bambi. Bambi'd beat you up after you fired."
I'm gonna buy my soon-to-be wife a wedding present with the money.
So where'd you get it?
I bought an estate sale, and that was in the bottom of a trunk.
Okay. It was called a Pepperbox.
Rick calls in Tony the gun expert, who dates it to 1857 and says it's rare. Only about 3,000 ever made. Tony explains it was popular among gamblers and ladies for self-defense. A table gun, not a field gun. Rick grins. So basically, poker protection. Tony values it around $500, depending on condition. Rick smells opportunity.
That's cool gun. It's in nice shape. 1857. They only made out 3,000 of these, and they made a 3-barrel, a 5-barrel, and a 6-barrel. Some of them you had to hand turn to pull the trigger. This one here rotates all by itself.
Rick offers a clever deal. $200 if it doesn't fire, $300 if it does. The seller agrees. Everyone steps outside, safety goggles on. Chum volunteers to shoot, because of course he does. The expert warns, "You don't need him back at the shop, right?" Corey deadpans, "Not at all." Chum laughs nervously. Feels not mutual.
So how much did you want for it?
Well, I originally was thinking 500 would be fine.
Well, I can't do 500 on it when I'm going to maybe sell it for that.
I realize you need to
I'd give you like 200 bucks for it.
Yeah, I'd like to get a little more than that.
Chum pulls the trigger. Boom! It fires perfectly, smoke curling out dramatically. Rick grins. Still got your hand? Chum waves it triumphantly. The seller cheers. He's getting $300 for his soon-to-be wedding fund. Rick nods. Good gun, good day. Everyone's relieved. No injuries, no disasters, just a smoky success.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you 200 if it doesn't shoot, 300 if it does.
Okay, that's
All
fine.
right, sounds like a deal.
Deal. Who's going to shoot this thing? I'm not going to shoot it.
Tell me.
The episode closes with Rick admiring the flamethrower on display, Corey mocking Chum for his auction loss, and the old man mumbling, "You boys will burn this place down before you get rich." Rick just smirks. That's the price of history, Dad.
Thank you. Overall, it was a good day. The gun fired. I'm getting 300 bucks, and I'm even getting married tonight, so it was a good visit.